State Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Carter. I am currently recording this reaction episode from my hotel room. So this is my humble abode right now, at least until I leave town tomorrow to head back to Chicago. But yeah, man, what a game we saw on Saturday. Cyclones win 24-21. I have so many thoughts about this game. Man, I mean, let's talk about the beginning of the game first. The beginning of the game, it probably was sloppier than any start that I could have thought. I mean, you have the K State muff punt, and then I felt really good, and I was the crazy thing is my seats were in the in enemy territory. I was sitting by all K State fans. So I was surrounded by all of them. I was going crazy on that muff punt by Dylan Edwards. So that was insane. But then, we saw that botched pitch by Rocco, and Abu fumbled it, and then K-State just got the ball right back. And I believe a few drives later, that's when we saw the like we said it in the preview show with Scott from Bosco's Boys. Um, man, Dom Overby showed up and showed out in this game. Rocco throws a beautiful ball to him. I believe that was like a go route and beautifully placed, and he went to go catch the ball. Touchdown. Iowa State up 7-0, and K State went back down to score, and it was 7-7. And basically, there was another turnover and another turnover, another turnover, and you're just like, man, what is going on? No, it's like it didn't seem like anybody wanted to win the game at all. And once it was 7-7 at halftime, I knew like, man, all right, we got a chance. And that's what. Hey, and look, that's what they did. They took. I wish they took advantage of the mistakes that K State has. Like we won the turnover battle. Like we have. I mean, that's what we've been doing to them 6 out of the last 8 times, and the last 3 wins in a row over K State. We have been winning the turnover battle, making big plays when we needed to, and I said to run the football. We had to we I believe we ran for 132 yards. It was a struggle in the first half, and I'm like, oh gosh, here we go again. But as you saw earlier on and later in the game, the offensive line was able to get a really good push, and I'm very happy that they did not abandon the run, because you at least you had a foundation of it, because once Carson Hansen was able to bust those big runs of, or at least runs of 8, 12, 15, all that, like you can tell that the K State defense was tired. And then I mean we got to talk about Taylor Mauser for a second. Bro was in his bag this game, man. You talk about that. I believe it was later on in the second half, on the way to when they were up 17-14. We got to talk about that, man. You talk about having full trust in your QB to really pull off that pop pass to Gabe Burkle. And he fooled the entire defense. And let's talk about Ben Bramer too. Ben Bramer had some huge catches on huge drives in the first half and in the second half. So basically all the 3 keys that we talked about in the preview show, that's basically what happened. That's what won us the game. Um, and also, let me say that like the defense came to play. Well, we got to talk about defensively. Defensively, that that is what that's what I'm talking about. Like our secondary, yeah, they had some like mental lapses on a few plays. But besides that, they were really solid. And besides those 2 plays, they sort of kept Avery Johnson in check. So I'm really excited to see the growth of these young our young secondary. Tess played a great game. I like the move for Jeremiah Cooper to move the corner, and then just I mean we got to talk about the play of uh, the safeties. The safeties were phenomenal. Obviously, we had a few like mental lapses, like I said before, but I am really really loving our defensive secondary. It's definitely a bright spot defensively. And then I also want to talk about the front seven. The front seven, or well, yeah, the front seven played great. Like you saw Ike Eziogu getting hands on them. He batted the ball down twice. Um, Dom Orange had a great game getting penetration. Um, and man, I think defensively, um, it's a lot. It was a lot better than last season, and it really, really helps when you have when you have linebackers who can go and pursue to the football, and the team speed on defense is absolutely nuts. Like you saw on the runs, like with the K State had a few like long runs, but they basically contained K State's run game. Like you saw, like all of them were just pursuing to the football. Like it was something. I think just there's definitely a lot more team speed on this defense than there was last year, and I'm very 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 pleased with what I saw defensively. Now, obviously, so I one of my questions for this team is definitely how are they going to respond from this because this is a huge emotional win. This is a team that you've beaten. Like I said, you've beaten them 3 years in a row now, six out of the last eight. But look, obviously this ain't the end all be all game. You still got 11 games to go, and now you're going to be back at home against a pretty good FCS opponent. What are they? What are they? What's their second going to be going in? Obviously, I know this coaching staff is going to have them prepared and ready for that. And the nutrition team and everything, and weight lifting and training teams, they're going to have the clones ready. But I want to see how they respond. But it helps winning a game like this because now the schedule just opens up. Because now you got South Dakota, you have Iowa in 2 weeks. After that, you have at Arkansas State. And then you got your first bye week on the 20th. So let's see where this season goes. Um, we also got to talk about Rocco. Like I know a lot of people saying, "Oh, he like passed for 50%." I mean, yes. Like I also we also got to talk about Chase Soul and Xavier Townsend. I think they'll be fine. I think they missed some time in fall camp. I think they just got to get up to speed offensively, but I really really like the depth in the wide receiver room, especially with Eskelson and Overby having touchdowns in these games. We're going to be just fine at that position, and I have the full confidence uh, of Noah Polley. He's been doing a great job. He found Jaden Higgins and improved Jalen Noel. So few things. I'll give my players of the game. I think we gotta talk and with Rocco, like man, he is a gamer. Like y'all gonna have to put some respect on his name. I just we clearly know who's the better quarterback out of the two. So like Rocco, I will ride with Rocco until his career is over, man. I think he's going for it, and he's probably going to shatter all of Purdy's records by the end of his time, especially if he comes back and for the 26th season. Like all those records are about to be shattered, and hey, like now you're 1-0 overall, 1-0 in conference, so now you got basically have like a 1.5 game lead over K State. So let's see what happens. Um, and Yeah, this is going to be a shorter show. I usually will have a longer show, but hey, I don't have my co-host with me, so we're gonna do with what we got. Um, but yeah, I am really, excuse me, so sorry. I think we really have a good squad here. Let's see if they can continue this as we move on to week one and go and play these Coyotes from USD, South Dakota. All right, guys. Um, don't really have much else analysis wise. So this is going to be a shorter episode, but thank you guys for tuning in to the Believe in Iowa State podcast programming notes. Um, so we are going to. I'm going to be joining the um, I'm actually going to be on the USD podcast, so I'll make sure that I will give you guys all the information for that. It's on Thursday night at 8:30. I will have to see if I can get the audio, and I'll make sure I will post it. And then for this little short show, I will post this once I get back tomorrow. When I get back home on my computer, I'm shooting this from my cell phone right now. So uh, obviously, with all the things that we say before we go, um, yeah. So, Believe in Iowa State is a top 15 most listened to sports podcast in the state of Iowa and a top 40 overall listened to podcast in the state of Iowa. So, thank you, FeedSpot. You can find me on Twitter at SciTag Guy, and I will say I love Cyclone Nation. Thank you to all who introduced themselves to me, and everybody who I've met, and even just the Irish people. Thank you guys. You guys are a very welcoming people. It reminds me so much of the Midwest. But yeah, I love this country. um, and then as well, you can find Cody at um, Matt Campbell Impersonator. So yeah, guys. If you guys did go to Ireland, man, it was a great time. And the last thing I'll say is Slancha. Uh, so this is Tyler Carter from the Believe in Iowa State podcast. Go Cyclones, and see you in 2 weeks at Cyhawk.